Do I have my microphone in the right place?
I don't know because I can't see it because your phone's in the way.
I know. And this pillow. God.
Oh no, I just put it in my lap.
Okay.
It feels like
it's
comfy.
there now. I think that I'm leaning on it.
Okay, good.
Do I look like I'm leaning?
I can't tell because your phone's in the way.
All right.
All right. I think that it's time to get started. What do you think?
Sure.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
You've joined B2B Happy Hour with your hosts, Stephen Brent May and Hami Arrington. This is the place where B2B marketing meets BYOB. So pour yourself a glass, pull up a chair, and let's get this happy hour started. We're back with the last episode for 2025. Can you believe we've made it 8 episodes, Hami?
I cannot. It's lucky 8, right? Is that
what they told us? Most podcasts end after 7 episodes, so we did it.
Oh yeah,
we broke the curse.
Yes, we're not a statistic.
Yep, but we are taking a break for the rest of 2025 after this episode, and we'll be back in 2026 with more new content. But in the meantime, like, follow, subscribe, rate, review, share. Let everybody know that you love B2B Happy Hour.
Yeah, that's right.
So for this last episode of the year, Hami, what are we drinking?
Oh, a local wine, local-ish. I guess it could be local.
Texas.
It's a Texas wine.
Yeah.
It's from Grape Creek. It's a Viognier.
A Viognier.
Viognier. This bottle comes to us from a good friend of ours.
Yes, Catrina at Happy Teams.
Yes.
So, Catrina, cheers. Thanks for the gift.
Yeah. So, Stephen, what's been going on?
What has been going on? This December has been crazy. November and December have been crazy.
Yeah, it's been wild. I think we have talked about this before on a different podcast, different episode. But like when November comes around, people start making jokes about like, oh, we've hit the season where we're just gonna circle back at the beginning of the year. And I don't know what these people are talking about because that has definitely not happened around here.
Nobody's circling back. They're like circling like hawks.
Yes, exactly.
Like I'm waiting.
Right.
Wait until they come back.
Yeah, they're like, can you meet at 4:30 on Friday? It's like, oh my gosh.
What's crazy to me is like, people like even friends and like casually like it's like, yeah, we should get together soon. And I'm fully expecting like, yeah, after the holidays. And they're like, what about next week?
Right, exactly.
Like, the week of Christmas?
Yeah.
But people are still, and I mean, December's always busy, but I feel like this year has been especially busy with like parties too and events.
I agree. It's like people really want to get together a lot. I mean, it's great. I also want to get together, but as an introvert, it is really wreaking havoc on my social battery.
Yeah. I think I had one night last week where I didn't have something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But we're just so popular.
First world problems. I mean, there are worse problems to have.
They really are. They really are. So I've been, I wanted to share with you, I've been, I scroll on Instagram and on TikTok a lot. And I was served a video the other day and it really spoke to me. And it said, if you're going to quit anything in 2026, you should quit being a little bitch.
I thought you were going to say quit your job. I mean, yeah, I could see that. Quit. So are you going to quit next year?
Yeah.
You're going to quit being a little bitch?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not.
Okay.
I didn't get
served.
served.
Will have to carry us again.
Well, I didn't get served that video, so obviously it's not relevant content to me. So I did see one yesterday that said, "New year, new me. I'm going to be worse." So that's the vibe I'm taking into 2026.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, good. We're both getting served content that's relevant for
exactly. Yeah, things that speak to us.
Hashtag growth. That's what 2026 is all about, growth.
If you're going to quit anything in 2026, quit being a little bitch. I love it.
Yeah. I'm going to be worse. What are we talking about today?
Well, it's the end of the year. So it's a really great time to be reflective and talk about something that's, things that we're looking forward to next year, things that we'd like to change, or, looking to see like what improvements we can make. And so we were talking, and it was like, well, a lot of the conversations we're having now, they're all strategic conversations because it's strategy season. But I think that a common conversation that we keep on having is that, teams are feeling like they're doing so much. They're doing so much lead gen, and there's a lot of pressure, especially in 2025, getting leads in the door, leads, more leads. But they feel like they're doing so much, so many things, but things just aren't moving. They're not getting more leads in, but the pressure is still there.
Do you think is the conversation usually more leads or quality or both?
Oh, I think that it's more leads. Okay. I would say that that's generally the conversation, even though the end result is more about quality
at some point
or other things. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So that leads me, I read a stat the other day. It was a research report from Marketing Week. And I think this is our number one reason that people are struggling with this effort. It said 27% of B2B marketers are being judged or evaluated based on the number of leads, regardless of quality. And so I think that a lot of times is maybe the number one thing that's hurting the effort, is that the emphasis is placed on how many leads, not how many good leads.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of teams, they come to us or we talk to them, and they feel that pressure, and they're like, what else could we be doing? What more could we be doing? What more could we be doing? And then inevitably, a lot of that conversation for us, we go into it. We always ask the question, well, okay, so let's talk about the leads that are coming in. Can we figure out what's going well? What are those leads that are coming in that are good, that your salespeople are able to move to an SQL or move to an opportunity? What is it that about those leads are better than all the other ones? And let's really work with that criteria and make more leads that look like that.
Right. And it's not, sure, it is a numbers game, but you've got to know, it takes us 100 leads total to get to 20 qualified. Mm-hmm. And so, sure, you need to know what that total number is, but you also need to know what that conversion rate from just a form fill or quote unquote a lead to a qualified lead is. And then to your point, now if we look at the ones that are truly qualified or good, what are the common characteristics? What was the source of that lead? Did it come from organic? Did it come from an LLM? Did it come from a trade show? How can we amplify what works versus just doing everything and expecting all the leads to come from sources where we've literally never gotten leads before?
Right, exactly. And I have so many thoughts on this. Is number one, so the focus that I always look at is, how is sales doing? Are you involving sales into the conversation when you are getting leads in? Because, I can't believe that even at the end of 2025, I'm even saying this, but you need to be talking to your sales team.
Right.
And involve them literally from the beginning, because they're the boots on the ground. They're the people that actually are talking to your leads. And so when a lead comes in and it doesn't close, you need to talk to them and ask them why that didn't close. And you approach them with the mindset of I want to help you. We're on the same team.
Right. And not just a HubSpot drop down that says didn't close, we lost on price.
Right.
That's one piece of it. Why did you lose on price? Did you lose to another competitor because their pricing was lower? Or was it just that you've priced yourself out of the market? There's multiple ways that can go. Mm-hmm. And I think, here's a bonus tip. I don't want to get sidetracked off of what we're talking about, but also talk to your sales team, because the conversations they're having and the questions they're being asked is the content you should be putting out there.
Right. So that's that first, right? That's that
Right.
you involve them from the beginning. And that's that piece of it. We are struggling for content. A lot of companies we work with are struggling for content. That's where you get your content.
Right. And guess what? If you want to show up on an LLM, you're probably have a higher chance of doing that if the content you put on your website is an actual question that a prospect asks a salesperson, because guess who else they've probably asked that question to? Chat GPT. And if you're the one that's answered it, guess what? You might show up.
I feel like that was a bonus tip.
I mean, we went from lead gen to now here's content. Here's content marketing
Right,
tips for
exactly.
2026.
Yeah, but then, I mean, it's, talking about, I kind of glossed over it real quick, but definitely talk to the sales team about the leads that did close. What was so good about them? Where did they come from? What were they asking? What kind of things were they looking for? But definitely talk to them about the ones that did not close too.
Yeah.
And really dig in, and then that's how you can help the sales team in your content to combat some of those objections that come up during the sales process.
Well, and if you've got transparency into the data, if you're using CRM and your data's good too, look at the ones that closed, the ones that won, and what marketing did they engage with after they were in the pipeline? Like, did they attend a webinar? Did they get your email newsletter? Did they download case studies, white papers? Like, what marketing activities did these right fit prospects engage with before they actually became customers? And then amplified those pieces of content, because obviously those supported the sales team in a more meaningful way. So,
Yeah.
Utilize your CRM.
That brings us to the second point, I would say.
Yeah.
And, I think that all of this sounds great and all, talking to the sales team and looking at the CRM data and measuring where people are in the sales funnel and how many people we have in the sales funnel and what they're doing and what are the best touch points. I think the holy grail, we've always been chasing is like, what's working and what's not working.
Right. Hit them at every point in their journey with the right piece of content at the right time in the right moment. Yeah.
Which sounds so great. It always sounds so great. And you're like, well, how the hell do I do that?
Right. So we realize and we want to mention and respect the fact that marketers right now, and this is probably the second point and the second thing that's hurting people, it's just a significant lack of resources.
Oh, yeah. We're expected to do so much. I mean, I know we've always thought about this. I mean, it's always, literally, I feel like since the beginning of my career, you have to do more with less.
Right. I don't feel like a marketer has ever been like, oh my God, guys, I have more budget than I know what to do with.
Exactly. Or I have too many people on the team.
Too many people on my team. We're just, and when we talk about lack of resources, we're talking about everything. We're talking about bandwidth. We're talking about team members. We're talking about budget for activities. This lack of resources has been a real stretch for a while, but specifically 2025.
Absolutely. And obviously we've been using AI for a while now too, but one of the things we don't ever talk about, and this is a conversation we have internally a lot, is, we do have AI and it does now, and we use it, that it's incorporated into so many of our processes. And when you're actually doing this stuff now, a lot of times it is saving you a lot of time. But then you're also then tasked with more things. Right. And so I was listening to a podcast this morning actually about like, okay, so AI is going to help us do more things in less time, and it's going to free us up. What is it freeing us up for?
Yeah,
this is a
absolutely.
tangent.
So, I'll give a real world example. Is like, I am really interested in this idea of creating like ads at scale. Yeah. And I've read articles about it. Fundamentally, I believe I know how to do it. But to carve out the time to experiment and test, that's a lack of resources, because the resource that I don't have right now is time. And yes, we should be able to do more because we've got the support of AI. We should be able to create more. We should be able to push out more content. But we also have to push out quality, so we've got to have the resources to figure out how to use the tools.
Right, exactly. Yeah, this is like catch-22 where, I think that we all have time to use AI enough to be dangerous.
Right.
But think about if we had more time and more resources to be able to put more into really reworking all of our processes.
Right.
But I want to talk about like some of the things that go wrong when you don't have the resources. Yeah. And these are pitfalls that you really need to be thinking about when you are a team that doesn't have enough resources and you're also being tasked with more leads, right? So one is short-term thinking. Because you're just in a hurry, you're like, I got to get it done. You're just looking at it as like, okay, this next thing, and I'm moving to the next thing. And I see it all the time. I've seen it with people that we work with. I've seen it with our clients that we've worked with. And so it's like really like taking the time to slow down and make sure that you understand what you're really doing. Because at the end of the day, you're still tasked with this goal, right? So it's still there. Even though you're like, well, I don't have any time and I'm just going to move through and I'm just going to get this done. You still need to be a little bit strategic about what you're doing.
Yeah. I think one of the other things that's probably a symptom of lack of resources is under optimizing and over optimizing.
Oh yeah, totally.
And so it's like, it seems like, how can you over optimize with lack of resources? But I think sometimes you get in this habit of, I'll use ads as an example. You launch an ad campaign, display, search, whatever, and you're like, oh, we're not getting the lead volume we want. Are you going in and making tweaks? Are you optimizing the ads? And like you're literally in there every day or tasking somebody with going in there every day, every 2 days. And so you never actually understand how a campaign performs. You're not giving Google or LinkedIn or whatever channel the time to learn because you're literally touching it every day. And so by the end of 2 weeks, you essentially have a brand new ad campaign because it's nothing like the first one. And on the flip side, there's the whole idea of under optimizing where, you look at it and you're like, oh, the ads didn't perform. And literally like the ads are doing really well. You're getting the impressions, you're getting the clicks. It's just nobody's doing anything. And it's like, well, it's not really the ads, it's your landing page, but you don't have the resources to deal with creating a brand new landing page.
Right. Or really just stepping back. I'll tell you from both things, over optimizing and under optimizing, like just stepping back and just saying, hey, is this even the right offer? Like,
right. Yeah.
Is this something that somebody wants?
Well, it's like because you don't have, it's very much like a symptom. Like you get in this like mindset of like, I've just got to keep going. I've got to keep moving. And like it's hard to pause and diagnose the problem. Mm-hmm. And, because we talked about this on a previous episode, like nobody has the luxury of just stopping and being like, let's stop and do a complete 360 or 180. If you do a 360, you're back where you started. Let's do a complete 180 on our marketing. Nobody has that luxury. So it's like, it's almost analysis paralysis where you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't have the resources, so I'm going to either do nothing or I'm going to try to do everything.
All the things, right, exactly. Yeah. And you feel like, when you're doing all the things, you feel like you're making progress. Right. But the reality is you're not. And
you don't experiment. You don't try things because you're like, well, I just need to do what I know because I got to do it.
I always think about Google. It's like, I don't think this actually happens anymore, but, there was a time when at Google, if you worked there, 20% of your time was just supposed to be dedicated to experimenting or working on a pet project or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I feel the same way about our ad budgets. In an ideal world, 20% would go to experimentation, but that's really not realistic. But I think that somewhere between 5 and 10%, you should be able to try new ad platforms and try new messages, try all these things so that you can have some kind of a test. And so you're always improving the campaigns that you're doing.
I think it was Coke. I don't know if they still do this. This has been probably 10 years, but like they used to have the philosophy where it's like 70% of your marketing should be like you're safe, like we know this works. 30% or 20% that's for experimentation, like things that are like middle of the road, and then 10% is just to go wild and do things that are completely out there that we just want to test. And I think that's a good way to look at it is like, let's set aside some of the resources for like that complete out of the box thinking, like something that doesn't make sense at all. and just see what happens.
Yeah, like actually being creative again. 'Cause I
Right.
feel like there's been such a long period of time in marketing where we weren't able to be creative because we were measuring. It's like measure what matters, measure everything. And the reality is, like, if you're measuring everything, then you're probably not doing the things like you're not marketing to humans.
Right. So speaking of marketing to humans, I feel like that's a good segue into our third
Yes.
thing that is hurting lead gen. And that's only marketing to the humans that are ready to buy your product or service. And we've seen this over and over again where clients will tell us, you know, we only want to talk to these people because they're the ones that buy. And like they completely ignore anybody that could potentially put them on a short list, potentially look at them in a year from now. And the market for B2B in general that is ready to buy at any given time is like all the things that anywhere between 3 and 7%.
I know. I've never seen any actual like data on that, but
you
that's
hear
just like
it all the time. So
that's what people talk
we've
about.
accepted it as fact.
Oh,
where we're like,
since the beginning of time, since
Right.
I was like in college, that's what I heard.
I think it's
right?
the same as like, you know, in B2B there are typically 5 to 7 people in the
Oh, right.
buying cycle.
Oh, I've seen data on that.
Is that still? Yeah, but is that still true? Has that
I think
changed?
it's actually more.
I do
It's
too.
actually,
I
think,
saw one
more.
recently where it's like 12.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyways, if you only market to the people that are ready to buy right now, then you're leaving money on the table.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna revisit these stats again. So if you want more on this, our last episode was all about this.
And
But
we've talked to literally every client about this over the
Yes,
past 2 weeks.
this is, I mean, but you know, that's the whole point of this podcast is we're here to share the information that we're talking about with the people who pay us.
Right.
You get it for free. So we're telling you what we're seeing out there, how the real conversations that we're having. So, as a reminder, the average vendors evaluated in a B2B buying process is 4 to 5. 4 and 5. That's around the number. And then the average day one shortlist that somebody already has when they start searching for a B2B product is 3 to 4 people already in their mind from day one. And then the deals that are already on the short list, where they go with those 3 to 4 vendors, it's between 80 and 95% of the time. So between 80 and 95% of the time, the people that they have in their mind on day one, that's who they're going to buy from.
Day one.
Day one.
I think what I would love more information on with this is, are the people creating the short list the ultimate decision maker? Or are there situations where an internal influencer or champion has been tasked with creating the short list?
Right.
You know,
yeah.
'cause-
I don't know, but I think that that's something that we always have to think about. I mean, because it goes back to that 12 people
Right.
on the buying committee.
Well, I always think about, you know, a previous client where, you know, they were like, we only want to talk to this specific persona because that's the person that buys. And once we dug into it, it was like, but that's actually not the person that is putting your name forward. Like, there's usually somebody else that was tasked with putting a list of potential vendors / partners together. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not marketing to that person, and that person can't find you, you don't even make it on the short list for consideration. So that goes back to that point. Like, if you only want to talk to that ultimate decision maker, you better hope that you reach them, and you better hope that you've built enough trust and goodwill with that person for however long you needed to, that when they're ready to look at somebody else, they tell the person that's putting together the short list, make sure you include so-and-so on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that this is really, I mean, this is we have a really great example in a client that we worked with. Their audience was CFOs, right? That's who signed their contract. That's who they talk to in the sales meetings. That's who they pitch. That's everything. But whenever we dug into the sales process, what we found was the person that actually does the research is the office manager.
Yeah.
And that office manager does not speak CFO talk. Right. The office manager just knows that there's a they need to have a company to do this thing. And so I'm going to go online and I'm going to do a search and see what I can find. I think in that case, they probably don't have a top 3 or 4 going into that search, right? But you have to remember that's the person that, I mean, probably on day one, when they do the day one search, you need to be in that top. They're probably going to be using ChatGPT more than anything else.
But the CFO may have had 1 or 2 that they said, hey, I want to talk to these 2 companies, but I need you to find me a couple more. At the end of the day, like, the office manager's pain points are not the same as the CFO's, and what they search for is going to be different than what a CFO would have searched for.
Right, absolutely.
And, you know, so it's not even apples to apples.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. It's like your messaging has to be a lot different.
Right.
And the way that you put your information out there has to be a lot different. And I think that, you know, I think it'd be interesting to go back now and do another deep dive into this process and see how often the LLMs are getting used for a buying process when it's somebody, the first person who's doing the research literally has no idea what they're looking for or anything like that. And so they're having to probably start a lot of it from scratch, right?
Yeah.
Which is making this is making a big case for putting a lot of this information on your website so that the LLMs can scrape it and then provide it to the person who's searching for the information. But that's not this podcast, I know.
Yeah, that will be coming in 2026 when we come back from our little hiatus.
Yeah. Oh gosh, now I want to see. Now I want to do a deep dive into that.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like we have a lukewarm take this week when it comes to lead gen.
A lukewarm take?
It might be a hot one.
I don't know. It depends on who we're talking to.
Well,
the
I think,
marketer or the product owner or the CEO.
Well, I think if we're talking to the product owner, it's a hot take.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and this is something that we have experienced. We've seen it in real life play out.
More than once, really.
Yeah. And when you're looking at your lead gen efforts and, you know, and this isn't even really necessarily about like the quality of leads, but about like the ability to close leads. Our lukewarm take this week is that you can't really market your way out of a shitty product.
Oh.
Sorry,
Okay,
not sorry.
I'm going to say it. You can't market your way out of a shitty product. That's that I put the flag in. You put the flag in?
I did, but
Yeah.
now I'm thinking about I'm going to need to check how many times we can say that. And you said the B word earlier,
Yeah,
so this may
okay.
be explicit this time.
Okay. Well,
see.
you can
But
bleep
that
me.
may help.
Or bleep
People might be like, "Oh my god, I
Ooh,
want to
what is this
listen.
one?"
Why is it so nasty this week?"
Oh my gosh, that would be so funny. It
So-
would be so funny.
At the end of the day, like, you have to have a quality product, service, something that the market supports. It can't be, it can't not work. It can't be poor service. You just can't, you can't win that way because you're going to get the leads. We can still get the leads in the door. You just can't close them because it doesn't work.
So I think that let's give a concrete example of a client that we worked with. So there's this one client. I won't name what they are. I won't name their product, but their types of clients that they went into were like prisons or like stadiums, that kind of thing.
And they were a startup that, to hear their story, solved a real need.
Yes, there was a product market fit for
Yes.
sure. And they had gotten a lot of funding from
VC.
a very big VC. I mean, like very solid VC, not like my, cousin.
Right.
like a real group. And we, they poured money into the ad campaigns, into the marketing. And I think that we did a really good job and really, we worked with a really wonderful person internally. And we were able to determine who the market was, do the ads, help them with the marketing piece, help them with the messaging, help them with the website, like all the things.
And lead volume, like lead volume and lead quality were never the problem. Both of those things were solid.
Yeah.
The product didn't work.
Yeah, the product didn't work. And so, there would be tests, it would happen, and then the product just didn't work. And so it didn't do what they said that it would do. And there was literally no amount of marketing or money you could put into it that would lead to a sale.
Right.
And so I do remember they made a lot of changes because of that.
Right. So all that to say, you can't expect marketing to dig you out of a product or service hole that you can't support. So marketing can get you 1,000 leads a month, but if you can't close those because you don't have a product that works, that's not on marketing.
Right. That's exactly right. I want to. I know that we wanted to do kind of a shorter episode this time, and so one thing I want to close with, Stephen, though, is I think I get a peek behind the curtain. We talk about it a lot, actually, with our team. When we work with companies, we market. We market them, and we put our all into marketing these companies and their products and their services, and we have these conversations, like really deep conversations, and we try to put the best foot forward. I don't think, going back to that example we just gave, like we never believed it was not a good product until after we stopped working with them.
Right.
Right. We were their biggest fan. We were here for that. We wanted them to get sales. We were going to do everything we could possibly do to get sales. And that's our job. Like, we don't ever say, well, maybe they don't have a good product.
Right.
It's not our job to do that.
And right. We're hired as a marketing agency, not as product consultants or, we've marketed things before where, we go all in and we're like, there's absolutely a need for this. We believe in it. At the end of the day, they could be out there killing people and we don't know it. I don't think any of our clients have.
I was going to say, I hope that none of our clients are like that.
But that's not where we plug in. And if we did find out that was happening, we would graciously bow out.
Right.
But
we do have a no a-hole policy.
Right.
And that would actually be into a-hole policy, into
Right.
a-hole region if you're killing people.
But when we work with clients and stuff, like we're all in. We're ready to get results for our clients. We're ready to help with the messaging. And so that's how we do it. And to your point, like it wasn't until the end when they came to us and said, hey guys, like it honestly at this point doesn't matter what you do because our product just isn't ready.
Yeah.
And that's on us.
Yeah.
So-
And and I'm not, I will not, I'm like a ride or die. That's our entire team is ride or die.
Right.
So, and that was die. So
Yeah. So 2025 has been a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
I am cautiously optimistic about 2026.
yeah, me too.
I think people are ready to get their marketing back on track. I'm ready for people to get their marketing back on track.
Yeah. I want to be proactive, not reactive. And I
Right.
feel like this whole year has been a lot of reaction.
And we've done, and the thing is like we and other people have done really good work this year with what we've had to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm ready to like have a year that's a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
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 Do the things that I feel like is our superpower, which is really thinking things through and, getting that clarity in place before you start doing all the things. This year we had to do all the things.
Right. All the things, all the time.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions,
No.
but I know that one of your goals for 2026, Hami, is to stop being a little bitch. Is there As you think about 2026, what else? Like what, not a resolution, but what's one thing you want to see happen in 2026 from a marketing perspective?
Oh, like on a personal level, I want to be more proactive in my use of AI, because I think that, this year has just been, again, it's coming back to just being so reactive. I would like to be more proactive in the use of it and really figuring out other cool ways to use it, because that's actually what drives me. I think that's the thing that makes that it gives me a lot of motivation, is really like, oh, I want to have a problem I want to solve, and so let me use AI to try to solve it. And I'm not just talking about like chatting with my ChatGPT. I'm really trying to integrate it in a lot of the things that that I'm doing. I think that's one thing. Another thing is, like, again, just going to be proactive. I just want to be more. I want to be more proactive and just not being reactive. But I do think I already have a prediction. I mean, just based on what we've seen and we've talked about, I think next year is the year of branding, of demand gen. So we've been ignoring a huge group of people for a very long time as marketers. And I think that last year we wanted to do that, but we just didn't have the luxury to do that. But I think that this year we feel like it might be a bit more stable.
Yeah.
I hope this episode ages well. But I think that's the case. So a lot more demand gen. What about you, Stephen?
I think for me, I want next year to be the year of like doing the work that needs to be done, not the work that feels like it just has to be done. And I feel like a lot of this year was like, we just have to do this because it's all we can do.
Right.
Versus like, this is what we truly need to do. And I'm looking forward to getting back to like doing that. And on a personal level, I want to really focus on like leaning into the work that I'm good at and not stretching myself on things that like aren't my superpower. Because of a lack of resources. So I excel when I do the things I'm great at, and that's my wish for 2026.
Yeah.
So,
well, I wish that for you too, Steve.
Same girl. Go
what
ahead.
did you think about this wine?
It's a little sweet for me.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little sweet too.
Yeah. I think I've had it before, and I don't remember it being this sweet, but my palate could have also changed from the last time I had it.
I think this is typical for Texas wine. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying, if you like sweeter wine, this is the place for you.
Yeah, it's I like a drier wine, red and white. I like dry wine, something a little more crisp.
Well, I really hope, Stephen, that you are able to reach your goals this next year.
I hope we both can. And with that, we hope everybody out here listening reaches your goals. We hope one of your goals is to continue listening to B2B Happy Hour. We hope you resolve to follow, like, subscribe, rate, review.
And share it with your friends.
Share it. I mean, it's a free gift.
Yeah. We're trying to be clippy, so share a clip with your friend.
Right.
It's kind of funny.
I mean, if you don't know what to get somebody for Christmas, just send them a link. It's the best gift you can give.
So stupid.
With that, we hope you have a happy holiday season, a happy new year, and we're looking forward to seeing you again in 2026.
2026.
Cheers.
Cheers.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll see you at the next happy hour.